Hello, everyone. It's Grammy and Tonya. This morning, well, first of all, I just want to say I had one of my sleepless nights last night. Again, so many things on my mind. And yes, I'm smiling still. I'm loving it that we have Kamala Harris running for president. And also anxious to see who her VP pick is. I'm just going to throw mine out there. But there's so many good people for her to pick from. But I'm here in the Smoky Mountains of North Carolina, and I believe I've decided that I think it should be Roy Cooper. Oh, yeah. So that's all I'm going to say about that. What I want to talk about this morning is when I played basketball back in high school. I want to talk about that just a little bit. When I played basketball, we had 6 on our team, on our starting team. And we had 2 guards who played under the basketball goal for the opposing team. And we did all the rebounding. That's what I was. And then we had two girls that were rovers, and that means they went to both ends of the court. And then we had 2 forwards. Now, the guards stayed on one end of the court, and the forwards stayed on the other end of the court, and the rovers went back and forth. It's funny to think about now, but that's how it was when I played. Anyway, been thinking about those years playing basketball and how, you know, it seemed like everybody wanted to give all the attention to the shooters, the forwards, because they made the baskets, which, hey, that's great. But they're also the rebounders, the guards. And I loved it. I loved it when the other team shot a basket and it missed and I went after it. I loved doing that. And also when they would, somebody on the other team would be getting ready to shoot a shot. And I loved blocking their shot. So anyway, when I would get the ball, either rebounding or blocking a shot or stealing it from somebody or whatever, my main objective from the moment I got it was to take that ball to the line and get it down on our end of the court. Or if that wasn't possible, get it to one of our rovers so they could take it down to the other end of the court so some baskets would be made. So at my age now, I kind of feel like that's what I'm still doing in life. I'm rebounding, I'm blocking, I'm stealing the ball, and I'm passing it on down the court. My mother, haven't talked about her a whole lot. Sometimes it's a little hard to talk about her. For those of you that don't know, I lost my mother in a tragic plane crash when I was 16 years old. Very traumatic. Anyway, she was one of my biggest fans when I played basketball. My mother wasn't an outdoorsy kind of person, which I am. My mother wasn't into sports at all, which I am. My mother was all about education, being educated and trying to help others realize how important it was to be educated. So I missed a lot of that through years in my life, that voice in my ear. And, but I'm still rebounding the ball. And I'm still trying to pass it to the forwards. So that's what I'm doing when I'm doing this political commentary. So I'm trying to pass the ball. First thing on my mind this morning is that I know it's a fact that the Republicans want to cut back or do away with Social Security. Now, one of the things I kind of talk about a lot when I talk with people is that, you know, we don't live forever. We just don't live forever. We die. We get old and we die. And I say it all the time. We need to live and keep living as long as we're breathing. So anyway, like I say, if they're trying to take our Social Security away. Now, I know for younger people that's hard to even think about. Or maybe the younger people I know. But there will be a day that you won't be able to go out on a job. And it sure is nice to have that Social Security check coming in when you're not able to go out and work on a job. Now, you may be, I'm talking to, well, I have 2 daughters, so a lot of times I guess I'm talking to them and other young women. And I have 2 granddaughters. You may have a job right now and working really hard, and but there will be a day that you won't be able to do that. And it's just important to realize that when you get of a certain age, that Social Security means a lot. And you pay into it. You pay into your Social Security, and you deserve it. So just think about it. Just trying to pass the ball. So make the baskets. Make the points. Oh, you know, when I watched the RNC, I believe it was J.D. Vance that said in his speech, when he looked out on the crowd, he said he was telling them, "You are the real Americans." Oh, that rubbed me wrong. We are all Americans. All of us. And we come in all different sizes, shapes, and colors. And sexes. Just wanted to say that. They talked about the Biden administration, the Democrats, not wanting to take care of the homeless veterans. That really rubbed me wrong, too. Donald Trump goes on and on and on about what a wealthy man he is. He prides himself in his wealth. And he has these resorts and buildings with Trump, the name Trump on them. You know, I just, in my little simple mind, I thought to myself, if they're so concerned about the homeless veterans, why didn't he open up some of these places that he has and let the homeless veterans in and use some of that wealth to help those homeless veterans? Why didn't he do that? Or ask some of his wealthy cronies to do that? Again, Just my simple way of thinking. Then they talked about if they got in office, Trump and Vance, that they would follow the law. Follow the law? Donald Trump has absolutely zero respect for the law. So I don't even know what they're talking about, that they will follow the law. Then they talk about all the murders and rapes and trafficking of women and children and from these aliens crossing the border. Well, this is what, that always bothers me. But the more I thought about it, I don't know, has anybody watched on TV the ID channel? And it's real life stories about people that are murdered and the things that lead up to that, and then how the court cases go and all that. But anyway, I guess what I want to say, I've been watching ID for quite a few years. Women are being murdered in this country all the time and have been for years. Now, they do have male murders too, but, you know, since we're talking about women, and I feel like the other side's trying to scare everybody, you know, that they're coming after our women. Well, on the ID, where they show these murders that happen to women and the abuses that they go through leading up a lot of times to murder, a lot of it is just white males. Of course, there's other colors too, but I would venture to say that the majority of the murders and abuse against white women or other colors is white males. Now, if you've got the statistics on that, just check it out. And then they called their convention, which is supposed to be the RNC, the Republican National Convention. They called it a movement, which I think they steal from the Democrats. But anyway, they called it a movement. This is a movement. What's going on with Trump? And, you know, they don't mention 2025. They really want to keep that quiet right now. But anyway, a movement. You know what I call it? A cult. Because it is. It's a cult. And going back to the times in my growing up years, we had some real problems with cults. You know, like I've said before, when I talked about Jim Jones or Koresh, cults. Charlie Manson, cult. And I haven't mentioned this, but it pops in my mind off and on. It's the FDLS Church. And a few years back, quite a few, but seems like a few to me, when all that was going on with Warren Jeffs out there in Utah with the FDLS. And take a good look at that, or remember back if you watched any of that. What they did with women and young girls, and even the young men, because they'd push them out when they got of a certain age. I mean, just be educated, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There's different forms of education. And all this talk about burning books and getting rid of books for children not to read. Education, people. Be educated. I'm going to turn my camera around and let you see my cat, Frank. Like I've said before, he follows me everywhere I go. I love my cat. What you see over there, Frankie? What you see? He loves getting out here and checking everything out and looking for the varmints. And sometimes I just feel good that he's out here. It's almost like he lets me know if there's especially like a snake or something like that close by. He finds it. Anyway, I'm feeling really good. I really am. But I don't want to drop the ball. I don't want to drop the ball. I want to be able to pass the ball, like in basketball. I want to make that pass, and I want you to catch it. Catch that ball. Score some points, and let's move this country forward. We've got the right person running, and her name is Kamala Harris. And whoever she picks to be her vice president, we need to move forward with them. No going backwards. No going backwards. Let's move forward. So, that's my message today. I'm trying to pass the ball. Love to all. Grammy.